everyone, and happy Halloween.
Hello!
You can see I have a co-host
Hi.
with me today. Sit up a little bit so they can see you. This is my daughter, Abby.
Hello!
And how old are you, Abby?
I'm 11.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
Are you excited about Halloween?
Yes.
So, the kids had a half day of school today. I think partly because of Halloween and partly because of teacher work days or something like that.
Yeah.
So, we're filming a little bit later. Usually film in the morning, but we're filming in the afternoon, and I have my lovely co-host.
Hi.
And we totally did not intend to be matching at all. We just happened to be. So I have my mini me.
Yeah.
My son is running around as well. He may pop in. He may not. I don't know. He might come see what we're doing. So we just wanted to say happy Halloween.
Happy
and
Halloween!
Welcome to anyone who might be joining, and a big thank you to our returning viewers.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting, this is the Novels and Needles podcast. This is episode 4, the first with my co-host.
Yeah.
Who is definitely going to add some life to this
Yes,
party.
I am.
So, for those of you who are joining for the first time, this is a podcast where I talk about what I'm reading and what I'm knitting.
Yeah.
And Abby is going to contribute a little bit as well because she loves to read and she likes to knit too.
Novels and needles.
So, we just want to welcome you.
Yeah.
So do you have anything you want to say?
No.
All right. Well, with that in mind, I'm going to put in the down bar links to the show notes, which you can find
Down
on
below.
our Ravelry group. So come on over there and join us. Introduce yourself. Say
Join
hello.
now.
And I might have to get rid of my co-host.
Aw.
We'll see. So, the way I've got this formatted is don't bump the table. We do the reading part first, so if you want to skip that and just go right to the knitting, you can do that, or if you just want to hang around and listen to the books, you can do that as well. So we will be back to talk about what we're reading. Alright, so welcome now to the novels portion of our podcast. I'm going to start with books that we've finished recently. Abby, have you finished any books recently?
I just finished reading Aragon and The Land of Stories and Author's Odyssey.
So, Abby really has taken off in her reading lately.
I have.
She likes fantasy.
I do.
And
Almost. I really only like fantasy.
that's her big
and
thing.
mythology, but yeah, fantasy.
So, Aragon is a series about dragon riders. Do you want to talk about what Aragon is?
Aragon is a dragon rider, and there's an evil dragon rider who's a king and hasn't died, and he's really evil and doesn't want any other dragon riders to be alive unless they're recruited in his army. Unless they're recruited in his army. So they're together and trying to battle with the elves and the dwarves and the humans and battle Galbatorix's army.
And did you like it?
I did.
You liked it?
And I'm on to the second book, Eldest.
Which we will get to when we get to what we're going to read,
Yeah.
or are currently reading. So she really liked that. She liked it so much that she's going to be a dragon
I am.
for Halloween. She wants to be Saphira, who is the dragon that Aragon rides, a big blue dragon. And I'll try to get some video when we're out trick-or-treating tonight to put in here, because that might be kind of fun and you can see her video, or her costume. Because a friend of my mom's made this costume for her, and it is unbelievable. It's so amazing.
Awesome.
So she's really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a dragon-themed Halloween with her. We may have another co-host joining us a little bit, and our dog Flint. He's not real sure what's going on. I just recently finished, this was my audiobook. So I like to have an audiobook and a physical book that I listen to. The audiobook is great for knitting. Abby has discovered she likes audiobooks to listen to in the car, because we kind of commute a little bit. And she likes that. So we listened to some Aragon in the car as well as read it. But the one that I finished was Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee, which is a follow-up to To Kill a Mockingbird, that I'm sure most people have heard of. Abby's probably hasn't really heard of that because she's not quite old enough yet.
Nope.
I did not like To Kill a Mockingbird at all. I don't know why I decided to listen to this, mainly because it just kind of popped up in my feed. And I thought, oh, it's not real long, why not? I'll go ahead and listen to it. And I really did not like it at all. I did not like it. I know there's a lot of controversy around it because Atticus kind of turns out to maybe not be what we thought Atticus was. And that's kind of the case. But it was pretty boring. And I just really didn't enjoy it at all. And you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no clue.
But it was not a good, enjoyable listen. I'm glad I didn't try to read it because I probably would not have gotten through it if I had tried to read it. Yeah. So, not so good on Go Set a Watchman. Not a big fan. Do you want to talk about your Land of Stories?
It was really a good book, but the end is really a cliffhanger because...
Don't give away spoilers. The end's a cliffhanger. So what is the Land of Stories?
It is about these two teenage girl and boy, they're twins, Alex and Connor Bailey. They, their grandma is Mysterial and she gave them a storybook. But it opens up a portal and then they go into the Land of Stories and they have all of these missions to defeat a lot of different people within the different books in the series, and it's really good. I suggest you read it.
So if you've got kids that you're going to read with, or if you're a young one yourself, she's really enjoyed that series a lot. I think she tends to like series, because I like series a lot too. I feel like you get better character development.
Yeah.
Do you feel that too? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are you reading next?
I am reading Eldest.
Hold it up. Hold it up higher, they can see it. There you go.
Is the second book in the Aragon series, as you probably heard me say earlier. It wasn't really that long ago, but so I haven't started it yet, but I'm really going to read it soon. She's pretty excited about it. I am.
We'll probably see if we can track down the audiobook for that at the library to have in the car with us. So that will be good. I am reading, so I started reading this last week and I'm still reading it this week. It's called Hava, the Story of Eve. You really cannot read that at all on the cover, but that's what it is. This is about Eve from Adam and Eve at the Garden of Eden. And when I talked about it last week, they were still in the garden. They hadn't eaten from the hadn't eaten their forbidden fruit yet. And now I'm a lot farther into the book, and they are outside of the garden and trying to make their way in, like, the mortal world, I guess you would call it, and a lot of the troubles that are coming up. I do like it. It's not as action-packed as I would like it to be. They're just kind of trying to make their way. In some ways, I feel like I can relate to Eve in this and some of the things that she's going through. So I have been enjoying that. I also just started, and by just started, I mean I've listened to like 20 minutes of it, my audiobook, which is May the Road Rise Up to Meet You by Peter Troy. And that, and looking at what the description of it is, that sounds like it's going to be set in the Civil War era, but following 4 different people through that time period. So it should be interesting, and as I like historical fiction, I think it'll be a pretty good read. So that's what I'm currently reading. So I think that's going to wrap up our novels section. If you want to stick around for the knitting, that would be great. We would love that. If not, thank you for joining us, and we hope you've had a wonderful Halloween, and have a great rest of your week, and knitting is to come. And we're going to move on now to the knitting section of the podcast. Abby is a pretty new knitter. She doesn't knit a lot. She's got a lot going on. But now that the weather is getting colder, I think she's probably going to do it a little bit more because she's not involved in as many activities. But she does like it. She's knitting right now.
Maybe I am.
And we'll show you what she's knitting as we go on. But before I start, I want to talk about something that I heard about through Becky from the Stringing It Together podcast. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the protests that are happening in North Dakota of the Native Americans who are trying to stop a pipeline being put in through their sacred ground, and that runs a risk of contaminating drinking water for a lot of people in that area. And with the weather getting cold and all the protesters being outside, they had put in a request for winter wear, and it sounded like Becky's sister was there and specifically mentioned to her hand knitted items. So I have a box of items that I had been knitting that I had planned on donating as the weather turned colder, but I wasn't sure what exactly I was going to donate them to. And when I saw this, I thought, well, I would love to do what I can to support these people, because I think that we've done enough to the Native Americans, and we really need to let them have their land and let them have their say in what happens to their land. So I have this big box of hats and cowls, and there might be a couple scarves in there that I'm going to send there to donate. And if you are interested in doing anything like that, I'm going to put a link in the bar underneath the video on YouTube. And I would definitely encourage, if you have anything that you can do to help. If you're a knitter, you could send some hand knitted stuff. I know they would really like and appreciate that. I am sending pretty much, it's mostly acrylic stuff that can be hand washed, that's easy care, because I like to gift people that I don't know. I want them to have things that are easy to take care of and they don't have to worry about it. So that's pretty much the majority of what I'm going to be sending. And Abby has decided she wants to contribute with this a little bit. So at the end of the week is when I'm going to send the box so that she can contribute as well. And I can finish up a hat that I'm working on that I'm not going to show because it's just a hat and not that interesting. And so we can kind of put together our box and get it sent on its way. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to get political on things. But this is, I don't think, a political issue. I think it's a human issue, and I want to do what I can to help. So if you're interested, that will be down below. So, finished objects. Abby doesn't have any, really.
I have one thing from a long
She has one thing. This was the first thing that she knit, and it's really strange. What is it, Ab?
It's some kind of hand thing, but it really doesn't look that good.
It doesn't. It's seen better days. It was knit and leftover yarn that I had, but she definitely was getting the hang of knitting on it.
But it was a little wonky, so I just put it together and I'm like, oh, I can put my hand through it. So Yeah.
It's an Abby special.
It works.
She made it up. It's great. So, you didn't knit that.
I know.
I don't even know who knit that. Or crocheted. That's crochet. So, I happen to have 3 finished objects this week. Because I had a couple I guess they were all from knit-alongs that wrapped up in the end of October as it is Halloween. I confess I am not a big Halloween person. I don't go crazy about it. I don't have decorations out and about.
I have fun.
The kids have fun. I enjoy it with the kids, but I'm not a big Halloween person.
Nobody
I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, lots of people are.
That's not
Just
true.
not in our house. This is
No.
not a big Halloween house. But that's okay.
Yeah!
We like Christmas.
Christmas
So Christmas
is
will
fun.
be more Christmassy. So the first item that I finished was for the Swatch Studio knit-along, hosted by Frenchie from Aroha Knits and Becky of the Stringing It Together podcast. And this was a knit-along for new designers, and I really encourage anyone who wants to support new designers to go check this out. It runs through December 10th, so there's still plenty of time. There's lots of great patterns that are on there. There's shawls, there's hats, there's cowls, I think there's even a pair of socks. So there might even be a baby sweater on there. So really some great patterns to kind of help get those new designers out there. So the first one that I did, and I think I'm going to do another one. This was the Lost Highway shawl by Mana. You can see Abby in the picture. Ooh. And this is a DK weight shawl, so it knit up super fast. It flew off the needles. I think this was like a 3 or a 4 day knit, giving it some decent time. And I knit this in this gray is Knit Picks Swish DK in Cobblestone Heather, and that's the main color of it in this kind of lace section. And we've got a glare, so hopefully we can get you some decent colors here. And then the red is also Knit Picks Swish DK, and this is the Garnet Heather colorway. And then the white, which I really think makes this shawl pop. I mean, I really think that the white is what does it. Get Abby in here. She's popping. And that is Cascade Yarns Longwood Sport, and that colorway was just number 1, but it's just white. It's not anything special or named
with white.
It is blacked out, so it ended up being a nice size. I was a little worried at first because it was kind of heavy, but blacking it really stretched it out and made it a nice shawl.
A nice weight shawl.
And I'm going to be giving this to a gentleman at my church as a prayer shawl. He's an older gentleman who's been having some health problems. The one modification I did make is when I bound it off, that white is washing out really bad, isn't it? I did a I-cord bind off instead of a traditional bind off because I just thought that the I-cord finished it up really nice.
It does look cool.
And made it a really nice smooth edge. So it is an I-cord bind off versus a standard bind off. So that is my first finished object. My second one was the Mystery Knit Along, the Cable Ship socks by Michelle Hunter, who is also Knit Pearl Hunter, and I watched a lot of her videos, kind of helped teach me to knit. And these are those socks. This is knitted in Zauberball sock, and this is the Tropical Fish colorway.
Tropical fishies, yeah!
And I have to say that while I like the pattern, because it's got, show them this one, maybe you can see it better. It's got this nice cabling along the front, and then it's got a different cable pattern along the back that's really nice and pretty. I only did one repeat of it because I don't like my socks to be super tall, and another repeat would have made them like twice as tall as these are, and I was not going to like that. This was a German short row heel, which was the first time that I had done that, and I liked it, but it did seem to leave some holes, and so I don't know if I wasn't pulling things tight enough or what. So I wasn't particularly crazy about the way that turned out. I did not care for the yarn. I will be honest. I really, really wanted to like working with this yarn, but I didn't. It's split. It's a little bit coarse. It's better now that I've washed and blacked them. It's a little bit softer, so it's not quite so bad, but I was just not a huge fan. It's a superwash wool versus a merino, so I think that's what's made it feel a little bit coarser. What do you think, Gab?
I don't know. They feel weird.
How do they feel weird?
I don't know.
They're just not quite as soft. They're a little bit more coarse.
This one looks cool. Looks like a rainbow.
I like the way this sock turned out better than this
but
sock.
But that one just looks weird.
Well, they don't match, but that's okay. They don't need to match. I definitely like this sock better than this sock. I wanted more blue because the blue was really, well, we like blue. I wanted blue on this sock, but I didn't want to knit up and make it higher. I do have enough of this yarn left that I could make another pair of socks, so I might do that and get my blue in there. I probably would just do vanilla socks though, and not mess around with the pattern just to get them done and off the needles. So the last, we're not that far yet, don't worry. My last finished object, Abby keeps bumping the table and shaking everything. So, this was for the Mystery Knit-Along group that I'm a part of, and they do knit-alongs that the patterns are revealed clue by clue. You have no idea what it's going to be except if it's going to be wearable or not wearable. And it's 220 yards of yarn or less. So it's a good way to use up some scraps and some stuff that I've been gifted that I don't really know what to do with. So Abby's going to put these on and model them. These turned out to be mitts that I didn't know what they were. I had these 2 squares and I thought they were not going to be big enough. Put them closer so they can see the pattern. There's some cabling on there. A 2-stitch cable and then a 4-stitch cable at the bottom. I think this is the way that they go. I just kind of sewed them together because it said to show them together. This pattern was the Newbie cable knit mitts, and it was something designed by one of the moderators of the group that she put out there. And
are you going to do a mystery knit? Or you have your own mystery knit?
Probably not. Maybe. I would have to think of a pattern, and I don't have a pattern off the top of my head that I would want to do.
Pattern, the one that you made?
That's not 220 yards or less.
Oh.
That's a big shawl.
Okay, never mind.
So.
Never mind.
We're just going to have a conversation between the two of us. It's okay. So I knit these in Knit Picks Mighty Stitch, the macaw colorway. This was left over from a prayer shawl that I had done. I think I showed that on my first episode. Not crazy about the yarn. It's acrylic-y, so it's shiny. It's really soft though.
It is soft. And
it's a nice green color. But it was not fun to work with, and I don't think I would use it again.
It feels nice.
But it was just not all that fun to work with. And I don't like the shininess. It's pretty shiny. It's really shiny. So I had some of it left. I probably had enough of it left to do like another pair of these or something like that, and I just threw it away because I was sick of it. So that's not the right size. So the thing that Abby keeps pointing out is one of my works in progress that I mentioned last week that I wanted to start, and I did start it. I'm not very far with it, but it's my Cozy Memories blanket. So I only have 3 squares.
It'll get bigger.
It will get bigger. And this is just scrap stuff that I had laying around. This, I knit my first pair of socks in. And this is Knit Picks Stroll. I really, really like their Stroll yarn. Sorry, I'm blocking Abby's face. In the Fuji colorway, this is the Stroll Brights. And then this is the Knit Picks Felici yarn. And I think that colorway was just called Rainbow.
Rainbow. Oh.
And then this is from Haute Knit Yarns. They're super soft merino fingering weight. There wasn't a name of a colorway. This was part of my Aturu shawl that I showed a couple weeks ago. It came in the kit for that, so I don't think that had a colorway associated with it. So it's not very big. I am weaving in the ends as I go to try to avoid having 8 million ends to weave in as I'm done. I definitely need more to finish more socks yarn stuff, so I have more yarn to put in here. But this is my beginnings of my cozy memory blanket that Abby wanted me to make sure I didn't forget. Those are blocked, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, what are you knitting, Abby? She's playing with all sorts of knitted things that she's acquired. Some mini shawls that I knit, and a mini shawl and a monster that I can't remember where that came from, but I did not make it because it's crochet. Oh, it came from a craft fair that someone was selling them, and they had monsters, and the kids loved the monsters.
Shawl, but
Cowl. It's a cowl.
oh, I mean cowl. Oops.
So
this is what I've gotten so far.
So I think in the last episode I had my version of this on, which was the very first thing that I knit, and it is Abby's running away. I'll talk about this while she runs and gets whatever it is that she's getting. It's just a garter stitch for like 25 inches using mammoth needles. These are a size 35, and this is a super bulky yarn. Oh, that's what she's got in the cowls. So I made her one in black, and then mine is in, I think it's barley is what it's called, and that's what Abby is knitting. And what are you knitting this for, Abby?
The Native American cause thing. Sorry.
And Flint is going to contribute a little bit as well. I don't know if you can hear him sneezing and huffing in the background. He's usually sleeping on the couch when I make this, and he's gonna join us today, I guess. I'm not sure what he wants. He's usually very quiet, but he wants to be in on the action, I guess. So yeah, this was my cowl. I had this on last week. That's Abby's in black. We like them. We wear them a lot.
Cozy.
So she's making one to donate, which I think is great, and I'm glad that she's doing that and getting involved. She's a good kid.
Yeah.
So my other work in progress is a pair of vanilla socks that I'm knitting for my son Philip. And I'm knitting them 2 at a time, and I love them. I love 2 at a time. I am totally converted. These I am knitting in Stroll Tonal, the Inverness colorway. It's got some black and some blue and some green in it. And I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel for the first time. You can kind of see the heel right there. And I loved this. I loved this heel. I thought it was really nice. We did that already. So this was Fish Lips Kiss heel. If you have never tried it, it is definitely worth the $1 on Ravelry to give this a try. It's my favorite heel so far. Of course, I've never done a heel flap because I'm weird, and I've only ever knit toe-up socks. I've never knit cuff down, but I'm going to be changing that pretty soon here. And so I will try a heel flap then. But I think I'm sold on the Fish Lips Kiss. So just vanilla socks for my son for Christmas. He's in the other room, so he doesn't know that these are for him. Yeah. And you measure their foot and make a template, and so I did that, and he
fitted his foot when he was sleeping.
Yes. So when I was doing the toe, to make sure that I'd gotten it wide enough, because he has kind of wide feet for a kid, and Abby's laughing because I snuck in while he was asleep and stuck it on his toe to make sure that it actually fit. I have not done that with the full sock. So I'm working on the cuff now. They're going to be shorties, so they're not going to be super long, and I'm going to have enough yarn left that I can do another another pair of them.
We
And I
can
have
afford
my,
to do another square.
and I'll be able to do a square. And I have my progress keepers that I made myself. This one has a little ladybug,
Bum, bum,
and this one
bum.
is a little butterfly. You can kind of see that. There we go. So those are my current works in progress. Abby's working on her cowl.
I am.
So that's what we're working on right now. So I guess we can talk about acquisitions. I think I mentioned last week that my friend Shelly had given me a gift card to Knit Picks for my dad passing away. And so I placed my order for that. I can show you what I got. I did get a set of sack double pointed needles. These are 5-inch, so they're not long ones, and I think they're going to be great for sacks because they're not going to be too wild and unruly. These are the Majestic, and I love these. I ordered my Sunstruck interchangeable set, and then the Majestics came out, and I was like, oh, I wish I had gotten those. But these are they're like purple and blue and teal, and they're just beautiful, and I really like them. So I have, if I needed to get additional needles for my interchangeables, I've gotten these because I really love them, and I think they're really beautiful, and it does make you want to knit more when you have beautiful needles like that. And these are really inexpensive, and you get 6 for each size, and it sizes US 0 to 3, so it's 2mm to 3.5mm, and you get 6, so you are almost getting like 2 sets of needles in each size. So it's a really good deal, and I really enjoy working with them. They're really nice and smooth, and things slide really nicely on them. So I'm going to be doing some top-down socks on these. Maybe not this week, but next week probably for sure. And then the other thing that I had got, they have on Knit Picks, they've got this, these patterns for socks that she's getting ahead of herself because she's excited about this too. Because there's a story behind these yarns. So they have these sock patterns that coordinate with the months, and my knitting goal for 2017 I think is going to be to knit a pair of socks every month, because I want to have knitted socks, and these are going to be socks that I keep for myself. And so I was going to use their patterns because I liked the patterns that they had, and I liked the variety. And because I always tend towards the same colors, I was just going to use the colorways that they suggested. And they used their Hawthorne base, which is a superwash wool and nylon, and I was just going to use those colors. And so I was going to accumulate them slowly, and so I'd gotten the first one, and then when I was placing this order, I thought I'd get the February one. So that was what I got first, which is it's the Hawthorne fingering. This is the Park Rose colorway. It's coming out really like hot pink, but it's not really that pink. It's a lighter pink, isn't it? With some like red undertones to it. I don't know if I hold it back here, maybe. I don't like pink, but for socks I could probably handle it. And it's not like a super prissy pink. It's just kind of a poppy color. So I got that thinking socks. And then I really wanted to try brioche, and so I had gotten these. Ooh, washing out bad from that light coming in the other window. Let's see what we can do here. If I get really close. There we go. So this is Cosmic Speckle, and they just came out with a speckle yarn, and then this is Blackbird. And so I thought that these together would brioche really well, because there's some black. You can kind of see there's like some black in here a little bit. Not as much black as I thought there was going to be, but there is some black, and I did think it looked good. But when I was showing Abby, I put them together.
I put them together.
Or maybe Abby put them together. And what did we decide, Ab?
And then we decided that we were going to go with a different design.
Careful. So we liked all of these together. We liked that the pop of color that the pink added. And I started thinking, what could I make with all three of these? And then I remembered I had this one. So when you put all four of these together, they really made a nice, the tags are in the way. They looked really good together. I'm sorry about the tags. There we go. And then I was like, I really have been wanting to make the Exploration Station by Stephen West. And that has a brioche section in it. So I thought, I can still brioche. Maybe not with these colors. I think we decided, did we decide these?
Yes.
I think we decided these were going to be the brioche colors. But I want to look at the pattern, get the pattern and look at it and decide, because I don't want super ton of pink in it. So, I think I'm going to make an Exploration Station with these. And that cosmic one is just going to wash out terribly. So this is why I have Abby, because she helps me with color combinations that I would not normally go with. I'm not sure when I'm gonna start on that. I don't know that it will be this week, because I've got a couple other things in mind for this week. Abby, do you have any acquisitions? No.
I don't know what that means. So, no.
New stuff.
That I'm planning on knitting? No.
No. So, one of the things that I am going to cast on this week, and I have a finished one that I made for myself, and I had a friend who really admired it, and this friend is a mom of one of Abby's really good friends, and she's really helped out a lot with the kids, especially with my dad being sick and other things that have been going on. She's really helped out a lot. So I wanted to, for Christmas, give her a thank you. And this is the Pincha Shawl by, let me get her name right here, Pinpilin Wang Sai. And this is from the online magazine Nitty. I think that was the spring issue that this was in. And it is this beautiful short row shawl that makes these feathers. And so you knit each individual feather, and it is wonderful for variegated yarn and really makes the variegated yarn pop and sing. This is again the stroll. I told you I love the stroll.
It's a rock star.
It's a rock star, Abby.
It's a rock star.
This was the Make Believe colorway, and it just is beautiful, and I love to wear it. It just is this beautiful pop of color, and it just makes that variegated yarn look amazing, because so many things you can lose the colors in the variegated yarn. So I have another skein of the Stroll hand paints that I want to use for her, and she really likes peacocks, and she thought that this made her think of peacocks, and it does look kind of like peacock feathers. So I have this, which is, again, it's a Stroll hand paint, and this is the Northern Lights colorway. So it's got all these blues and purples in it, and really a lot more peacocky, I think, in appearance. So I want to cast this on and work on this for her for Christmas. It's a pretty fast knit. It's all garter stitch, short rows, and with the variegated colors of the yarn, it makes keeping track of your short rows really, really easy because the color changes. So it's a lot of fun to knit, ends up looking really cool, and I think this will look amazing in it. What do you think?
I think it will be really cool.
So I want to cast that on this week and get that started. The other thing that I want to cast on this week is also a pattern from the Nitty magazine. I can't remember what issue it was, but I'll put all of these patterns in the show notes. And this is going to be a pair of socks that I'm going to wait until I'm done with Phil's socks, which I should be done with in the next day or so, depending on how much I get to knit on them. These are going to be socks, I think, for me. I have some other Christmas knitting that I want to do. But these will probably be for me because I don't really knit that much for me. And these are going to be the Here Be Dragons socks by Rachel Gent. And this is in the Knitty, again, the Knitty magazine. And if you don't, there's always some good patterns in that. And it's free and it comes out, I think, 4 times a year. So it really has got some nice patterns in it. I'm going to knit it with this yarn. And this is from Expression Fiber Arts. This is their Resilient Merino sock and the Demeter colorway.
Oh, Demeter.
Yep. It's kind of it's a green, but it's got some blue undertones to it. I don't know, what do you say? It's like kind of a really dark turquoise almost, Dab?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of matches our shirts.
You don't match well enough. Goodbye.
I thought it was more green than it is, but it's tonal, so it's got some greens, it's got some blues in it, and I think it'll knit up, these socks will knit up really nice. So this is the information. Oh, that's backwards. Why is that backwards, but everything else turns out okay? So Resilient Superwash Merino, 400 yards. It's not a huge skein, but it's definitely enough for a pair of socks. And it feels really nice. There will probably be some extra.
So you can make another square.
Yes. Abby's very, very much about that sock blanket, and I think she's probably going to, I think she could easily make one of these.
Maybe.
So I think I'll have to give her some scraps and let her get started too, because I think she could do these, because it's pretty simple to do. It's garter stitch with just a couple decreases in there. I think she could do it. I can help her pick up stitches and cast on until she gets the hang of it. She's 11. She can do this.
Maybe.
Oh, you can do it.
I'm not 100% sure about that.
She can do it. Does she think she can do it? They're nodding their heads right now. We can't see them.
I'm not sure.
But they're nodding their heads.
I'm not sure.
Believe in yourself, my child.
Why?
So Abby can do it. So I'll probably work on getting her started on that. I think that is gonna be it for the knitting. Do you have anything you want to add? You've been pretty quiet lately.
I have. No, I can't think of anything else to add to that or anything. Yeah.
So we want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join in and
Thank you.
join me with my little co-host here. I don't know, she may make appearances again.
Maybe.
Depending
maybe
on when I'm filming this, and if I do it when she's home, she probably will pop in there, and we'll see what happens on breaks and stuff like that. She may become an occasional co-host.
Maybe.
She can be my. We may not be twins next time. This was totally, completely accidental, and we had no idea that we were doing it until we looked at each other and went,
"Oh,
we match." But it's kind of, if you know both of us, it would probably not surprise you at all that we match. No, she's kind of a little version of me, which she hears all the time.
I know.
And I think she's probably sick of it.
Yeah.
And she means that in the best way possible,
yes.
I'm sure. So thank you for joining us. We hope you had a happy Halloween and you have a great rest of your week. Yeah, thanks for joining. We hope to see you again next week.
Bye. Bye.